Hello, and welcome to another edition, after a pretty long hiatus, of All About Hopkinton, the original HCAM show, which is designed to bring you the interesting organizations and people who help make Hopkinton a great place. I'm Jim Cousins, and I'm happy to be here and sharing these stories with you. With me today, I have two representatives from the Hopkinton Public Library who have a few interesting things to talk to us about. I have Danielle Cook, who's the Adult Services Librarian, and Jack Miller, who is the Young Adult Librarian. Welcome to you both.
Thank you very much. We're happy to be here.
Having us.
We're going to catch up on things that are going on, but I do know that right now you've got something pretty cool that you want to talk about, something about a marathon.
Absolutely. So this year we are going to be returning back to some of our pre-pandemic and even pre-new building roots. And we're going to be re-presenting a program that we held back when we were in the old building called the Reading Marathon. And this is a really exciting program. If you're familiar with summer reading, it's going to be really similar to that, with just a little bit of a twist. So this year, we will be, from March 1st to April 21st, helping folks log their reading hours. And as they read up to 26 hours, they will be able to win prizes, participate in events, all sorts of fun stuff.
Okay. So 26, I know that number kind of has meaning to this community.
It does.
It does. So a marathon is the traditional distance that is 26.2 miles. It's really the 0.2 that gets you, as anyone who has run a marathon knows. But we decided to stick with 26 just because 0.2 hours is really hard to calculate.
Yep.
Our folks will be using minutes to then add up to hours, especially for children. It's nice bite-sized pieces that everyone can attain. And the nicest thing is that as people are training for their reading marathon, you can kind of equate that as you would for training for a regular marathon. So you don't run a marathon just getting out of bed that day and saying, I want to run a marathon. You can. I wouldn't advise it. I basically did that for last year's Boston. Would not advise it. But in this case, this is training your mind to read pieces at a time, whether you're running the equivalent of a 5K, which would be 30 minutes of reading, or running the whole marathon. It's really just training folks to read regularly, and also helping train folks for our new summer reading software, which we are doing a soft launch through the Reading Marathon.
Okay. All right. So a couple questions about this. Do you have to read books on marathoning?
No. You can read whatever you want.
Okay.
And we're a little bit flexible with this. We're a little bit forgiving. We know that many folks, particularly like parents with kids, may not be able to sit down and read an entire book on their own. That's something that they would enjoy.
Yep.
So, we're perfectly willing to work with folks. If you read to your kid, that counts. Read them a bedtime story. Get 20 minutes for your kid in there. Get 20 minutes for you in there. Everybody can get some time, just in little snatches here and there if necessary.
Okay. So I haven't done the math. So you're doing 26 hours. And what's the dates?
That would be March
1st
to April 21st, which is approximately 52 days.
You got time. Just piece it out, a half an hour a day, and you'll be fine.
Right. And so I know you're starting a new software that you have, and this is kind of like a soft launch of that.
Yes.
So what's the process like if I'm jumping in and I want to track my stuff? What do I do?
So you can actually jump on now to our summer reading software, which is what we're using. It's called Read Squared, and we're using it for our reading marathon. And by inputting your email, you'll be able to get a countdown to tell you when to register.
Okay.
But when we do see the actual registration start, you'll put in your information or your family's information. You can group your family together so parents can log for their kids, or teens can log for a younger sibling or themselves, or parents can or humans can log for other humans. And then that way it allows them to keep track of their reading, as well as every milestone that you hit, which is every mile point. You'll get a badge, a digital badge, which will show either the town that you're entering, because we're following the marathon route.
Okay.
And then you're going to have folks that are cheering you on along the way, like folks from our library will be on the badges. Our town manager has dedicated his own image to be putting on one of our badges. Folks from Parks and Rec, Fire and Police, and it's just a cool community event so that the community can cheer you on at your own pace.
Right, right. Now, how do you keep people honest? Do you like stop by their house and see if they're reading?
Totally, no. No, we go on the honor system. With that said, there are limits in place that you cannot log all 26 hours at one time because there are only 24 hours in a day. Like, we're librarians, we're not good with math,
Yeah.
but I can tell
we
you
can do that.
we're better than that. And the software does some limiting for us, which is
Okay.
nice. Yeah.
Okay.
So, why are you doing this?
Well, it all starts here. And that's what we say in Hopkinton, because we're the start line of the marathon. And it's really big part of our identity as folks from Hopkinton. And because we haven't done this in so long, we want to take that journey from Hopkinton to Boston together. But we also recognize not everyone is going to run the marathon, and that is okay. Definitely okay. But everyone can be part of the community, and this is to build our community as the identity that we have surrounding the marathon, but also really help folks find enjoyment in reading and find enjoyment through a journey of reading. And that's how we see the reading marathon is a journey from Hopkinton to Boston, but through books.
Okay. Now, is there any type of guidance along with this, suggestions, or do you guys just do that as part of your regular lives as librarians? You know, like advocating good reads for people and steering people towards genres that they might like, or
Yeah.
do you guys
So we have a couple different ways that we kind of meet that. So folks can always just come in and drop into our spaces and say, hey, what do you have that's good? What do you have that you think I might like? What have you enjoyed recently? I love to tell people about books I've read recently. We also have a couple different resources that folks can use. We do have some reading lists, I believe, on our website. And we do have a resource, a database called Novelist, which is kind of like Goodreads, if you're familiar with that, but better.
Okay.
So that is a really good resource. Folks can use that on their computer or on their phone from home or in the library to look for recommendations for folks of all ages, books of all types. And then I believe that we will also be pulling together a couple marathon themed or related themes reading lists, and those will be available on the reading website. So when folks are logging their hours, if they finished a book, they can take a peek at the book list and see if there's something on there that they might be interested in.
I see. And that's a separate thing, right? That's not on your website. That's just like a service that you're contracting with?
That'll be on the summer reading website, yeah, which is it will be available on our website, but it is, a different bit.
This may be a little bit too soon, but are you doing a summer reading thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every year.
Okay.
Every year.
All right.
So this year, we're in our initial planning, which is just one more reason why we're doing the reading marathon, is to get folks used to using our new software. We think everyone's going to really like that. But this year, we're looking at summer reading as something that is totally kind of unique and different. Every year we have themes that we follow for summer reading. And this year, we're really looking forward to having a relaxing summer reading to really make folks enjoy summer reading opposed to thinking of it as another chore or another thing they have to check off. And the interesting thing about summer reading is it's not just about books. You can get points in our summer reading that count towards our summer reading prizes for all ages, whether you're a child, a teen, or an adult, by doing other things like taking hikes or going out and reading outside or playing outside. And yes, adults play too, as much as adults don't like to admit it.
Or they should.
Or
if
they
you're an
should
adult
play.
And you're not playing, you're doing something wrong.
Okay.
Definitely, because play regenerates our mind and our bodies. And so that is going to be part of our summer reading theme, is really thinking about the regenerative aspect of having a chill, enjoyable summer.
Yeah. I don't know if you've noticed, but the last couple of years have been a little rough on everyone.
Yes,
so.
I know. I was just thinking, like, wow, that's a really cool theme. Who came up with that?
Actually, Andrea and Danielle and I. Andrea is our children's librarian. She noticed a lot, and I've noticed with our teens as well, that folks are very scheduled, because there's just a lot of stresses on kids with doing, AP classes or, performing academically or with their sports. And then parents are, I don't know about you, but I'm driving constantly to, one activity to the next and things like that. And so by noticing that, we want to give people an opportunity to really find an outlet for enjoyment and relaxation. And so that's why we include other activities like, taking a hike or going for a swim or doing things, but also allow for any type of reading to be logged in our summer reading and reading marathon programs, which includes audiobooks, which includes magazines.
Okay.
If you are using a cookbook, cool, that's a book. That counts. And so just making it very broad really, I think, takes the stress off of it.
Right. One thing I wanted to just mention is it's really interesting to me because when I was a kid, the library, you go to the library, you take out a book, you read it, then you bring it back and you get another one. And in these past, couple decades, the role, the focus, the point of a library is really evolving. It's becoming so much more than that. And I see so many things that our library is doing to engage and educate and just like get stuff going, you know what I mean, with your patrons. And I'm just curious, like how hard are you working at that? Is it just are you going against the grain of the library system, or what's it like there?
So I think we're following a larger trend in libraries where librarians are noticing that there are decreasing amounts of public space where folks can just exist for free. I mean, we've all heard stories of folks being kicked out of Starbucks for sitting and enjoying a coffee.
Yeah.
Or folks who are unhoused, having trouble accessing certain things.
Yep.
And I think in the wider library world, we're seeing this movement towards, hey, we're a free open space where people can come and just sit for a little while. And I think that the next step beyond that is, well, while we've got somebody here, while we've got folks here, what can we give them? And so we're seeing an increase in events and programming, an increase in the different types of materials that we offer. So I know that we have been really working on trying to make our events really welcoming for folks and trying to expand our events so that more folks can attend. I know that we have been trying to make our collections more accessible, not only for folks who might have disabilities, so making sure that we have books that can be listened to or books that are in multiple languages, but also items that are not what you would normally expect to see in a library. For example, our Library of Things, which I think I spoke to you about a while ago, with our crafting materials and home repair items and small electronics and board games. We're just trying to take that extra step and offer a little bit more.
Yeah. How would you describe community at the library? Like, what do you see as like community within those four walls?
So we like to see the library as the hub of the community that doesn't just stay within those four walls. We have so many opportunities to be out and about within the community, as well as creating community in the library. In the library, community is everything from our fiber arts groups that we run, where we stitch and chat and learn from each other, to our book groups. That's in the library community, but we also extend beyond our four walls by doing outreach events at preschools and at our grammar schools and being involved in the middle schools and high school, and then having Danielle, who can probably actually really, I would love if you would touch on all of your elements that you're doing with the seniors in our community as well.
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest things about community here in Hopkinton is making those connections between individuals. And so like Jack was saying, like we obviously do that in the library, but we also do it outside of the library. And one of a big project that I have been spending a lot of time on recently is doing visits to some of our local senior living facilities. So I'm visiting Fairview Estates, Golden Ponds, the Senior Center, and the Hopkinton Housing Authority one time each month for each of those. And I'm bringing books with me and playaways with me and a talking book machine with me, and just a bunch of different stuff, so that folks who might have barriers, whether that's mobility or transportation, that keeps them from getting to the library, so that they can still access those items and get the services of a librarian.
Yeah.
You know, because we are also good at answering questions and helping folks find information and all of that.
Right.
So those visits are definitely a little bit challenging sometimes, having to pack all that stuff up in bins and cart it places. But it's also really rewarding to go out and interact with those folks who otherwise wouldn't be able to use our services.
Right. All right. So, quick question, circling back to the reading marathon. So it's been about, did you say it was about 5 years since you've had something like this?
Bit more than
Yeah,
that.
it's a
Bit
little
more
more
than
than
that.
It was
Okay.
in the old building.
Okay.
And the new
So
building
when you're looking at the marathon, when it's over, right? Do you have any kind of metrics that you'll be looking for to see whether this is a success or not? Or is this more just part of, this is something that we do and
So
off it goes?
we definitely track, and that is the nice thing about being able to use software now and having technology, is it allows us to track everything from seeing what our folks are reading, so that gives us insight into, you know, are we succeeding with our collections or not, but also helps us understand who is using our services. And the nice thing though is the software we use doesn't collect personal information or anything like that, so we get data, but without being invasive or in any way judging what our community is consuming or anything like that. It just informs better decisions for the library,
Okay.
which is really kind of nice. Success for us though looks like just enjoyment of the program. We never put a
Yeah.
number on it, but if we can look for our summer reading stats, for instance, from previous years to now, each year we have seen market increases in all ages. In actually last year, we saw some pretty significant jumps in both teens and children's, but the adult program just exploded. So that's what we're really hoping for as well with the reading marathon, to really get adult participation too.
Right. Does the software collect any information like how old you are or just that you're a person and this is what you're reading?
So it's self-reported, because of course, you know, people should be able to report on themselves and their children as far as what programs they want to be part of. And there is some overlap as well.
Okay.
So for instance, if we have a tween who, they hate that word, and so I'm sorry, tweens, but say you're in 5th or 6th grade and you're more comfortable accessing the children's program, cool. You can access the children's program and there'll be some overlap. But their sibling who may be the same age may want to access the young adult program because they feel more comfortable with that sort of environment. That's cool too. And same with young adults and the adult program, especially with young adults, there's a new trend for the emerging adults, which is someone who is after high school, going to college, settling into their adult lives. They may still feel more comfortable in the young adult program, and also the young adult materials may be more attractive to them. So we want to give people a home without necessarily shoving them into a box they don't want to be in.
Right. Okay. So, final question, just wondering, getting involved with the reading marathon, is there anything beyond going into the website and saying, I have done, 26 hours of reading? If somebody, was really into this and loves doing it and it's a lot of fun, is there anything beyond that, or for this program, is it just people reading hours?
So it's going to be slightly scaled back from what we would normally do for summer reading, but it's going to be a similar idea.
Okay.
So there will be some related programs. So if folks are interested in attending events, they can definitely do that. There will be some related take and makes, I believe, for all ages. So if folks are interested in craft programs, they can check out those take and makes. And then we're also likely going to have those sort of activities that Jack was talking about, where you can, if you really, really get into it, you can get points for going on hikes, for reading outside, for trying a new genre, things like that. So this is something where if you just want to like do your reading and be done with it and get your prizes and get out of there, you can do that. But we are we're, I think, really committed to making the summer reading program and the reading marathon, all of our reading programs, something where folks have a variety of ways to earn points and to win prizes and to feel like to have actually interacted with literature and with the library as a whole. And I think that we're going to definitely make sure that that folks have lots of different ways to, like I said, win points and win prizes.
Right. That's awesome. You guys are doing great work there.
I think so.
And so do I. And so do I. So thanks for coming in and taking the time to share some details on that.
Thank you so much. This was a delight.
Thank you for having us in.
All right. And thank you so much for joining us for this episode. And I, of course, invite you back for future episodes where we talk to other people. And please check out the reading marathon coming up starting March 1st. Have a great day, everyone.